this computer. All right, so we are now recording. So confer Zoom. When I get back to my office later today, I'll make sure and send you that link. I highly recommend it because also for any tech support stuff, typically I don't necessarily need to meet with faculty in my office anymore, which makes it more convenient for you. So Mike, you've come to, both of you have come to my office. Instead of that, I could send you a Zoom link and then you could sit in the office and then we can share each other's screens and I can guide you through that. Makes it a lot more easier, a lot more efficient. All right, Google Chrome. If you haven't opened it yet, please do, and then go to the Grossmont website. Once you have gone to the Grossmont website, click on the Canvas logo in the top right-hand corner. Also, I want to make clear, too, as I get started, I tend to start speaking and going fast, and if I feel like you're keeping up with me, I'm going to continue going up on my space. So if you feel, please be open, speak up. If you feel like I'm going too fast, raise your hand. Tell me to slow down and I will slow down. All right, so click on the Canvas link. Your username is your web advisor username. So first name dot last name, or your legal first name dot last name. Your password is your 8-digit birth date. So that's going to be your 2-digit month, your 2-digit day, and your 4-digit year. And then you can go ahead and log in. Realize that is universal for students as well. Let me take a look at. So it'd be, what is your birthday?
Well, what if we change our website?
That's different. This is by default. This is separate. The only thing that's connected, web advisor is your username. You need to enter in your 8-digit birthday for Chrome. Patricia. So you're entering 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 4-digit year. Let me get through with that. So what I'm actually doing right now, I can bring it all up. Patricia, could you come up here, please? Enter your birthday. This is you, right? You're teaching this.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Please confirm the password. That should work.
Okay.
All right, so while Patricia's going to log in, I'm going to open you up to this page. We are all on this page, and what you see are actual cards. These cards point to sandboxes. Blackboard, we call them containers. Canvas, we call them sandboxes. These sandboxes are for the dashboard. These are courses that you want to access the most, the ones that are important to you. Now, for the scope of this course, there are 2 sandboxes that you're going to need to pay attention to. One is the CTF1. Now, don't go into this yet, but CTF1, Introduction to Teaching with Canvas. That is the actual course that you will be taking. And then you have a training sandbox. This sandbox is where you're going to be doing a lot of the assignments. There's certain assignments, hands-on assignments. You're going to learn how to create an assignment, a discussion, create a content page, create modules, upload your syllabus. You're going to be doing this in your GC Canvas training sandbox. So in the actual course, when I actually go in and I show you the course and you hear me talk about whether it's a video you watch or whether it's through instructions that you read, if I say, go to your GC Canvas training sandbox, I am referring to the sandbox that says GC Canvas training and then your last name. GC Canvas training. So Michael, yours would be Golden. Randy, yours is, how do you use it? Absher. I've always wondered that. Never asked. Absher, that would be your last one. Now, real quickly, first off, you were able to get it?
Yes.
Okay. Right under that is courses. Click on courses. I want to show you the courses. And by the way, what we're referring to here, what I'm starting to focus on is what I call what we call the global navigation bar. This is what I'm explaining as far as So when you click on courses, at the very bottom of the courses list, you might have to scroll down. There's a link here that says all courses. I want you to go ahead and click on that. So all courses is all the courses that you're currently teaching at this time. If you're the instructor of record of a course in Web Advisor, district is automatically going to create a sandbox for you. Now, if you notice, if you look up on my screen, you notice yours might have all the stars turned off, but you see all this, mine have certain stars turned on. And then I have one that's turned off. If you want something to display on your dashboard, you can just select that specific star and turn it on. If you do not want something displayed on your dashboard, you can just select that star and turn it off. So orange, it'll show up on your dashboard. White, it will not show up on your dashboard. For your scope of this course, what I'd like for you to do is at least select the CTF1, Introduction to Teaching with Canvas course. Make sure that star is selected. And then locate your Canvas training sandbox, your GC Canvas training sandbox, and make sure that star is selected. Once you've done that, you can click on your dashboard, and you should only have, I'm going to see a bunch of mine because I need access to these, but you should only have 2 sandbox cards display on your dashboard, the CTF1 and then your training sandbox. If that is not the case, please raise your hand and I'll go to your computer and see what we can do to help.
Those are sandboxes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of those boxes.
Yeah. Are we good? All right. So as we start, first thing I want to emphasize too, as we talked about with the login, Web Advisor username, 8-digit birthday, I emphasize that's universal meaning that's faculty and students. So for any of you, I'm sure if you folks want to use, and if you're teaching online, you want to do grades in your course, and Patricia, I mean, we just sat there and put yours in right now. All I need to do, Patricia, is do a little social engineering, and if I would have asked you hey, Professor Chow, what is your birthday or whatever, and then I have access to your course. And that's not secure. So what I want to do right now is focus on how we can change that password. So in your global navigation bar, right under the Grossmont logo, I'd like for you to click on Account. Randy, to get started, if you could open up Google Chrome, go to the Grossmont website, click on Canvas, and then the login credentials are going to be on the Canvas screen. Randy could probably point you out too if you need any help with it. All right, so click on Account. In your account, click on Settings. Once you are on your settings page, refer to the right-hand column and click on Edit Settings. So if I walk over here, it's going to be this button, Edit Settings, right above Download Submissions. Once you click on Edit Settings, if you refer back to the middle of the page where it's your name and then you have all these options, right under time zone, there is a link here that says password. Click the checkbox. Type in your old password, which would be your 8-digit birth dates, and then type in your new password and then confirm that. Once you've done that, click on Update Settings. Let me know when you've completed that. Are we good? Perfect.
I had a question about the services register.
Yes, sir.
These are things, well, I don't know if this is a global thing. Just see it on that screen.
Right.
You want to wait to talk about that?
I wasn't going to touch base on it, so if you have a question, I'll go ahead and answer it real quickly.
What does it mean?
You have the option when you, in your, I believe it's in the orientation, I believe when you, there's an assignment to edit your profile and enter preferences. In a way, as far as contact, you have an option of ways to contact you. Now with Canvas, they define different ways. They keep email and stuff very private. It's for, because they believe in, they really adhere to FERPA regulations and stuff like that. So they've pushed these services, whether you want, if you use Skype or if you use Twitter, you don't have to use these, but you could connect your account there. Students could do this too, and they receive notifications, or they could connect you in this way. They're not required, but they're there. All right, I want to do a quick tip. There's in the orientation, there's a section I'll point out. I'm going to on notifications. So I'm not going to go too much in detail. There's a couple things that I do want to point out that for you for your quick notes that are going to be important. So let's go ahead and click on notifications real quickly.
Oh, yeah. I'm still on that page.
So if you're right here, if you look on my screen, you were on your settings page. What I want you to do is at the very top, there's a link there that says notifications. So Canvas has a robust notification platform. It's very great to stay up to date on the latest activity as far as the course is concerned. You'll see a lot of, I've added my cell phone number, I've added another email address, and I have push notifications for an app, but you will only have your one email address, the email address that's listed for your account. Now, this email address is listed for what's on your WebAdvisor account. And if it says something like update.email@WebAdvisor, you're going to need to update that and then let me know at the end of the course and I'll show you how to do that later on. But for right now, let's explain what we're looking at here. Under this email address, we have 4 icons. We have an icon that's called a checkbox, a clock, a calendar, and then an X. The legend for these icons, the explanation for what these are at the very top of the screen. So for the checkbox, notify me right away. So for example, if I'm in Randy's class and Randy has an announcement, I have notify me right away set by default, which should be for you as right now. Anytime Randy makes an announcement, I'm going to get a notification in my email inbox that Randy just made an announcement in the course. If the clock is selected, that means that I'm going to get a daily summary at the end of the day on activity in my Canvas account. So Randy creates an announcement, Professor Golden creates an announcement. At the very end of the day, I'll get an email. The calendar, send weekly summary. If the calendar is selected, at the end of the week, which I believe at the very bottom it says Saturday at like 5 p.m. or something, I will get a weekly summary of all the activity that Professor Golden and Abshir did in the course throughout the entire week. Then at the very end, at the very X, it says, do not send me anything. If this X is selected for announcements in this context, I'm not going to get any activity. I'm not going to get any announcements. So what I want to quickly do right now is go over some of the things that are going to be important for you in this course. One is announcement. You're going to want to have announcements selected. Mine's being a little slow right now. But you want to have notify me right away selected for announcements.
I'm sorry, but this is for students though, right?
In the context of the course that you're going to be taking for me, so technically you're my student.
I see. I wouldn't be checking that as a teacher.
No,
Okay.
but for students.
Thank you.
The one that I do want to check, and the one that would be important for you to check as a teacher, and it's going to be more important once if you plan on doing assignments in your actual course and stuff like that, is submission comments. That you do want to have checked as an instructor as well, and I'll explain why. The second time I taught this course was in February, and I had send daily summary selected, so that meant I have the clock selected. When faculty submitted their assignments, you have the ability to submit your assignments, and then you have a comment box right under that. And faculty, when they're submitting their assignments, they're asking me legitimate questions on that assignment, whether they had a problem with it or not. So with send daily summary, I get one email out of the gajillion emails that I get every day that just got lost, and I missed all of those legitimate questions that I was getting from people. And then when I was ready to grade the assignment, there was a couple that had a problem with it. Based on my answer, would need to resubmit it. But since I waited and since I didn't end until after the deadline date and didn't grade, I missed all of that. So that could affect the student's performance. So submission comments, that's important that you want to sit there and select. Another one that you want to have selected is conversations, and I'll get into the conversations inbox. There's an inbox messaging feature. Added to conversation, you want to have selected. Notify me right away. And then conversation message, that's one you want to have selected as well. Notify me right away. Those should be done by default. Right now for discussion posts, I would also recommend doing this new discussion post on a topic you're subscribed to, because you're going to have discussion assignments where you have to reply to two faculty, your classmates' posts, and that'll be important to know when faculty start to reply. That is a basic overview of the notifications. Again, I'll point out in the orientation, I believe it's in the orientation where there's more details on the notification stuff, because this is going to be very important for you. Any last minute questions on notification?
What is the default right now for us as students?
I just want to make sure announcements is selected, and the one that it shouldn't be, the submission comments by default should be send daily summary. I want to make sure that's selected as notify me right away. Because when you submit, for example, if you submit, like for your first assignment, you have to create a course outline. You submit that assignment to me, I'm going to get a notification, and if you make any comments on it, I'll get a notification right away that you have a comment on it. But if you have send daily summary and I reply back to you saying, Patricia, I need to make you make changes to X, Y, and Z and resubmit the assignment. If you have send daily summary, you might not get it, but the notify you'll get right away. And I wanted to make sure announcements were set by default, notify me right away, because that's the main way that I'm going to communicate with the entire class. Individually, on a private basis, the conversations is how I communicate with you privately. If I have a question, or if you want to ask me a question, stuff like that. So those are the ones that I want to say.
That one, the daily summary sent out?
I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say 5. I know that's not set in stone, but I want to say 5 o'clock at the end of it. But I will call and confirm that one. We have a calendar here. Calendar will give you a view, and later on in the course, I'll explain the calendar. Right now, if you notice, in the very right-hand side, the thing that I want to point out to you, with the calendar, and we'll learn more about the calendar in Unit 3, you have a calendar section, but each course has its own calendar. That makes sense. If I look over here, if you look in the very far right on top of my screen, you might have, you'll see a list of calendars, and all the colors turned on for those calendars. You see corresponding colors next to the title. That means that for every single one that you're teaching, that's automatically turned on. I only have one turned on right now, and that is my CTF1 intro to course, and you can actually see the schedule. Yes, Michael?
Would that pertain to a sandbox?
Yes.
So, in other words, I got Bio 110, one course, 4 sections.
Yes.
4 sandboxes, 4 calendars.
In theory, yes, but you can merge those. We can merge those.
That's what I hate about it.
Yeah. But you can merge those in one thing, and I'll show that. That's not an issue as far as managing multiple sections. In fact, in Canvas, it's a lot easier in Canvas than it is Blackboard. But so for this one in this course right now, the only one that I want you to sit there and pay attention to are the CTF1. Make sure that's turned on. And then make sure your Canvas training one, your GC Canvas training one is turned on as well. So you should only have 2 boxes turned on in your calendar section. The last item, oh, wait a minute. Actually, with the conversations inbox, and there's a tutorial once we get into the course, I'm going to point you to a tutorial on how to properly use the conversations inbox. For a lot of you folks, you email me individually on questions that you have as far as distance education and online learning. For the scope of this class and for the entire time that we're working together for the next 5 weeks, all correspondence for anything that you have a question for me will be done via the conversations inbox. This is a very powerful messaging tool, and what I really like about it, again, not only they protect email addresses. So Randy technically does not have to give his college email address to me his name is automatically selected in this account. So I could send as student to Randy, I could communicate through this course. Messages will be sent to Randy's email box, but I'll never get to know.
Okay, real quick. So
Yeah.
I remember a couple weeks ago. Okay, so the inbox, so we will use this as our source of communicating with our students, not our GCCD anymore. We go to this. So we tell students on our syllabus, it's still GCCD, and we open this every day to talk to students, or now?
Technically, you do not have to give your email address to students.
Because they're going to communicate.
You can communicate to Canvas, but if I go through here and I click on this, and up right here, you see up in the top, I'm going to click on Composing New Message. I'm going to select the CTF1 course, and then I'm going to type in Randy. No, that didn't work because your name is Randall. There we go. I'm going to type in Randall, and I'm going to send test message.
You're sending it to my CTF1?
This will, well, it goes into two places. When you log into Canvas, you'll see the message in your Canvas inbox. When you get back to your office, you will see this in your whatever email address that's linked into your Grossmont account or your Web Advisor account. Oh, and I got to send you a message. Now, what you can do is so Randy, if you go in and you open your, I haven't hit send yet, so when I hit send and then you get it in your Grossmont email box, you can reply to that message and it will go back to the student will get it in Canvas too. So it'll go into both places.
Okay, so it goes to.
So I hit send. So later on when you see it, you'll see it and it'll go there. And this is a conversation, these are conversations that I've had with other instructors. This is other stuff. You got it. So Michael, Michael, he includes me in conversations. And what I like about this too, in two places. Number one, it keeps a log of the history of your conversations with your students. So Michael, if you have an issue, if I'm a problem student or whatever, if we have an email thread or anything else, you have a complete history of my conversation that's preserved in Canvas. So you can sit there if you needed to take a situation to a dean that you're concerned about, you have that history. Or if you're getting evaluated for a course, and the regular effective contact policy is what they establish here and enforce here at the college to make sure that instructors are not putting on a correspondence course, that they're actually doing an actual online course where you interact with your students just as much as a face-to-face instructor would. You have this as proof to show to your person that's evaluating you how much you're interacting with your students on a regular basis. Versus whether it's Blackboard, there's no way to actually do that because the messaging features in Blackboard are really important.
So that brings up a question. Sorry.
That's fine.
Sitting here also. So if the administrator wants to evaluate you, they have full access to everything on campus, including all your correspondences?
No, we have certain roles. We have certain roles for what the teacher has access to. They would have, for me, the evaluator, I'm an authority figure. I'm going to evaluate you. You, the teacher. I get assigned a specific role where Chris, the admin, creates very limited functions that only has access to your course. I'm only actually enrolling you in your course.
But you would have access to all my correspondence.
No, no, this is connected to your account, not your course. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, for example, I am an instructor in I'm enrolled in your training sandbox. So let's pretend I'm the evaluator and I have full access to your training sandbox. However, I do not have access. I would have to be able to click on this and then be able to see that, and I can't do that. For my own account, if I log in, the evaluator, when I log into my account, granted, I would be able to go in here in my dashboard and then the course isn't displaying, but I would be able to access your course, but I would have to click here. If I click here, I'm only seeing my messages. I don't see yours. That is by your choice whether or not what you want to show to a evaluator or not.
Default, it's turned off.
Yeah, they don't have access. That's not even turned. They don't have access to that at all. No, I'm saying when it's my choice is if you want to sit there and have somebody come into your office, you log into the account, and it's your choice to show them your correspondence with your students. So. So I just want to make clear, any correspondence, anything outside of this course or anything within that's specifically related, you have a question for me, send it here because I want to make sure you understand how this feature actually works.
So Chris, does that mean that if we send an email to web advisor, CCP account,
Mm-hmm.
we would still get it in this course or no? We have to go
No.
to Canvas to get it. But you're
Right.
saying it's in both places, but does it first happen? You know what I'm saying?
So I know, well, first off, I want to caveat, I have no training or relation with WebAdvisor. That I have no connection with that one. So for when I understand you as instructors, you have the ability to send email out through WebAdvisor to your students, although I've heard comments that it's been really cumbersome. I've heard comments. Yeah. It worked. Okay, so that has WebAdvisor, and the ability to do that has no connection through Canvas whatsoever. What's connected is in Canvas, your WebAdvisor, whatever email address you've specified in WebAdvisor is the email address that Canvas is going to use for me to send in a message. So I just sent to Randy to his message. It was sent to his email address to his WebAdvisor account. But it has nothing to do with what you log into WebAdvisor.
I've lost a little bit too. Why would you say WebAdvisor account versus Outlook? So I never think of email with my WebAdvisor.
Well, that's why I was confused too. It's Outlook or it's Canvas. You use WebAdvisor?
We don't
No, I'm
use
saying,
WebAdvisor.
Outlook. Oh, right. So,
So
we're using two different terms. It is Outlook and Canvas.
So in WebAdvisor, you have the ability to specify an email that you want to do, you want to use for all business that you have to do with Grossmont College. So that could be michael.golden@gccd.edu. Canvas is the controlling database for, or WebAdvisor is the controlling database for Canvas. So every day, Canvas is going to pull michael.golden, is going to pull your name, and your name is attached to that email address that you've specified in your WebAdvisor account. And then it's going to pull all of the courses that you actually teach. And you saw that when you went into your all courses areas, everything else. So when I, the student, I'm communicating to you through the email that you specified on your WebAdvisor account. It would come to your Outlook.
That was the part I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
I've never gone in and, well, we don't modify it.
Right.
so right now in Canvas, is it defaulting to your
WebAdvisor email address.
Okay, so it's already defaulted. We don't have to do anything.
If it's there. So when you go in your actual account, the thing that you have to go through, and I believe there was one instructor that I have to make note of that did not have this. But if an instructor, when I went into notifications, under email address, if you look up on my screen, you sit there and see my email address. This is the email address that is technically, I don't have a WebAdvisor account, but it would be this right here. If an instructor sees update.email@WebAdvisor, it means an instructor did not put a valid email address in their WebAdvisor account, which means that if I communicate with you as an instructor or use the instructor communicate to me as a student, you might not get the notifications for any communication that you send through Canvas. There's a link for that. I'll show at the end of that because I want to get moved. All right. So inbox. Any questions we have about that? We'll leave that there for now, and then we'll move on. We'll move on to the rest of the. One of the important things I want to make note of. If you're going to write anything down, take notes as far as what I'm about to talk about right now. I'm going to click on the help. And I'm going to click on call for help. So in the global navigation, I'm clicking on the very last help icon, which is a question mark. And then I'm going to click on call for help. There is a number I want you to write down, and I'm making it big on the screen. The number is 1-844-600-4953. That's 1-844-600-4953. We have purchased a support package from Canvas that provides 24/7 phone support for both faculty and students. So if you have a technical issue in regards to Canvas, you're doing something or you don't know how to do something, you're having a problem with it, you call this number. Same with students. If you have a login issue, students have login issues, they call this number. So I want to make emphasis and emphasize, on campus, there is no Canvas student support services available to students. Students can't go to admission and records and find, and you know, for example, Patricia, she's the student in my course. Thankfully, she called, you know, I was able to reset the password because I'm the admin. But if I was an actual instructor, you would have needed to call this number to get your password reset. If an instructor sends a student to admission and records is going to send that student to the tech mall. Tech mall is going to give the student number to this student. So students have that number. So in the scope of this course, if you have any technical issues and it's obvious, you're trying to do something, it's not working or whatever, you call Canvas. If you have a course-related issue, as far as the course is concerned, you're having issues submitting an assignment or you're having something with the problem of the actual course that you're about to take, then you can contact me and ask me a question. But this is very important. Please, when you actually start your course, give this number out to your students. I use this all the time, and they've been fantastic. Also, I want to emphasize, too, that if you call on a day, and let's say by one day you happen to get the one rep that woke up on the wrong side of the bed and he gave you an attitude, all calls are recorded, and a ticket, for any call, a ticket is actually created. And I, as the Canvas admin, I have access to their ticketing system. So if you ever called and you got a person that set you off or had a rude experience with it, you could let me know, and then I could find that information of your call in that record, and then I can forward that off to the people that I work with at Canvas for any problems, and that's how they quality control those things. So overall, it's been fantastic. Highly recommend it. The next thing, as far as the help section, I want to check on is search the Canvas guides. The amount of resources that they have with Canvas is unparalleled. It's insane as far as what they have. You look up on screen, you click on the Canvas Guides button. And if you click on Instructor, there is the amount of resource. They have everything and anything in the world that you can sit there and look at. So let's say Michael wants to learn more about grades in Canvas. I can click on grades, and this is everything and everything about grades. So Michael wanted to learn about how to excuse an assignment for a student in the grade book. He could click on this link right here, and it would provide you step-by-step tutorial on how to do this. It's very simple, very easy. So if there's ever something specific that you wanted to learn, you could go through here. Or when you go back on the guides page, you could look through here, Canvas guides. Let's say we just changed password, so I could say change password. I hit the enter button, and then it says, how do I change my password as a student? It comes up with a direct guide, so you don't have to go through that long list on the instructor area. So I highly recommend, if you have any issues or you're trying to figure out how to do something, go through the Canvas guides. This will be your Bible. This is like the big user manual for Canvas. All right, so that's the global navigation. Any final questions on that? Because we have 45 minutes. I want to get into the actual course. If we are good to go, then I'm going to go ahead and get into the actual course. So we need to be on our dashboard. And then I want you to click on the CTF1 Introduction to Teaching with Canvas course. And I'm going to do a quick breakdown of how to navigate this course. Real quickly, what I'm going to do, because right now I'm in instructor view, I'm in the instructor in my course. I want to be in student view for myself so you can see. I want to match what I see on my screen versus what you see on yours so you don't get confused. But student view is something that I'm going to be talking about a lot because you can do that you yourself when you start working on your courses. So you don't do this now. This is for future reference. So just write this down right now. To access student view in a Canvas course, you're going to click on Settings, which is at the very bottom of the list. This is when right now you're an actual student in the CTF1 course, so you're not going to see the settings. I'm saying when you're actually in a course where you're as an instructor, this will apply. So
Because I'm a student.
you're a student in this course, so you're not going to have that. So this is why I said I just wanted you to write this down. So you click on settings, and in the right-hand side, you're going to see, in the right-hand column, you'll see student view over on the right-hand side, on the very right. You click on student view. I'll go over this more later, but this is what I'm actually doing right now. So now I'm in student view, and what you see on screen matches what you have on your screen. Sure. I'm going to leave. By the way, very bottom right-hand side is where I leave student view. So in a course where you are an instructor, you would click on settings, very bottom of the list. Over on the right-hand side, you click on student view. All right, to break down the course, we have our course navigation. We have our home. Our home is our dashboard. It gives you a dashboard and a quick access to the items that you want to have access to. We have the course syllabus. So this is emphasizing, telling you the importance of the syllabus. It's your Bible. Use it as reference for the entire course. We also actually have a course summary. This is the course schedule. So the course summary outlines everything that's going to be due. So Friday, these are the things that are actually going to be due this coming Friday. And then throughout the entire week, these are things that are going to be expected to do. Then on Friday, October 13th, this is actually the last day of the actual course. And you have like poster syllabus and stuff. So if you ever wanted to know what's due or time, the dates of the actual what's due is going to be listed in the left-hand column. And then the time it's due by is going to be listed here, 11:59 p.m. And the syllabus is actually, the syllabus is not downloaded. I'm going to have to, let me do something real quick because that's not displaying properly. But if you click on the link here, you can actually download the course syllabus and the syllabus would be displayed. Let me try to open it right now. This is the actual syllabus here. You have your grades, you have people. This is like the people in the actual course. And then chat is something I need to turn off here. But the main course of your work is going to be done through modules. You'll notice that as you go through modules, these items are grayed out. The first one is in black. So black is one that you have access to. Grayed ones are ones that you can't access yet. So you as an instructor, you have a way to control what your students see and what your students don't see. You have a way, so the way I have it is, I want you to go in sequential order for each actual assignment. On the home screen, if we go back to the actual home screen, you can have a quick access to the orientation link by clicking on the Start Here link right here on the home screen. Takes you to the welcome orientation. On your own time, I encourage you to watch this Canvas Getting Started. It's an 11-minute video. So you folks here, so as a kind of a refresher, I take what we talk about in 90 minutes and I put the most important parts down in 11 minutes. So if you need a refresher, you can watch that. Let's talk about the actual scope of this course. This course is going to be 5 weeks long. This course is going to be organized into one of 5 weekly learning units. Participants will have the option to work ahead in the course if they desire. However, they must meet set requirements for the current module before moving on to the next module, and I'll explain what those requirements are. Now, each week you have a chance to attend a Canvas lab. These Canvas labs are not required, but highly recommended to talk about the current lesson we are on. So if I go back, I'm going to go back to the calendar. I believe we have one this coming Friday from 10:30 to 11:30 in 5:33. We will talk about Unit 1 and then prep you for Unit 2. Those workshops will be recorded if there is attendance, and that stuff will be posted online. So if you miss it, you can actually watch them up here. And then I always say, refer to the course summary section in your syllabus for the entire schedule. As I stated at the scope of this course, the fall 2017 semester will be the last semester faculty can use Blackboard. Come January 2nd, 2018, Canvas will be the official learning management system for the district. We did not develop the original format to this course. The original format was given to us. However, Janet and I, we've made constant adjustments every time we finish an actual course. We make changes to improve this to fit the needs of our faculty here. If there is anything that you feel that needs to be changed or clarified, or if you need accessibility accommodations, you can contact me. All right, this is something I want to make clear on and emphasize. Based on your technical ability, average folks took around 5 to 8 hours a week to complete this course in the 5 weeks. Your time commitment may vary based on your own experience level with technology. And also, I'm going to try my best for the last half hour to give you the best way to navigate this course. I want you to be mindful of your current workload. Other faculty members who did not take into account the amount of work it took to complete this course had the most trouble with the class while balancing their current workload. Don't be afraid to let us know if you need to drop, but keep in mind, if you have full intentions on teaching in the spring semester and you're on the fence of whether or not you need to stay with this course, if you drop this course now, you might not be ready to teach in the spring semester if you're dependent on this learning management system and if you want to support a Grossmont. So I understand if you need to drop, but make that a very, very strong critical decision. And if anything, I will do my best to work with you. If you communicate with me about your load, I'll do my best to work with you as much as you possibly can so we can get you through this actual course.
So I have a question. A bunch of graded assignments. What's the grading system?
I'm going to get to that. So as far as the grade system, today is the first day. It starts off with your final project. And as far as that grade system, your final project is worth 100 points. The final project for this course will be able to create the first 2 weeks of a Canvas course. So what we're doing right now, basically this course is going to hold you in your hand and get you started into building your own course. Hopefully it's going to help you build 2 modules of a course. And by the end of the 5 weeks, you should feel confident enough to continue building out the rest of your course. So this is not, don't take this as an extra class that you have to take. Take this as a way that we're helping you getting started to start building your course right now so you can be off and running for the spring semester. And that's what this is. Yes?
So I already have a little lot for a hybrid that I have starting in like 8 weeks. Can I just start that class? It can be a real class we're working on versus a hypothetical one.
I want it to be a real class that you're actually working on. Yeah. So assignments will include creating a home page, creating assessments, and creating content pages, and then this is all recommendations on how you would sit there and go. Now, as we note, as you work through this actual course, take note of any notifications that I sit there and have. I said before you go, there is a Mark as Done button located in the top right-hand corner of the page. What these are requirements that I set for specific pages so I can control and I guarantee that you're doing what I'm actually telling you to do. And I'll go later on when we get to modules, I'll explain that in detail and how that goes. But for the sake of you as a student right now, you kind of read this already. You can scroll up at the very top. And if I move my screen right now, there's a Mark as Done button up in the very top right-hand corner. You can go ahead and click that right now. And then at the very bottom, because right now you're learning how to navigate a module, at the very bottom you can click Next. .2, meet your facilitators. This is a background of Janet Gill, who's sitting in the back right now, and then myself. Take note, when I mention the conversations inbox, there is a, you see there in parentheses there, it says conversation inbox and then tutorial. If you were to click on that link, it would take you to a tutorial on the conversations and give you an overview on the conversations inbox. I highly encourage you to watch that on your own. And I'll give you a better idea on how to use the inbox, considering that I didn't really give a proper overview of how to use it. So watch that, because that'll be the primary way to contact me through the duration of this course. Very bottom, click Next, bottom left. 0.3, weekly Canvas lab sessions. This is the schedule for all of our lab sessions through the week. Take notes, so Canvas lab, this one's today, 10:30, room 534. Unit 2, which will be on 9/21 Thursday from 10 to 11:30. That'll be done via Zoom because we couldn't find a room available on Friday. So for week 2 next week, I will be sending out a link, and we won't be doing this workshop via Zoom, which is the application that you have here. And then if you want to add the rest of the weeks, week 3, 4, and 5, all of these will be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on Friday in room 533. But 0.3, for your own future reference, that's going to be where the calendar is at. Click next.
But Chris, you will record these and put them up for those of us who can't attend.
Only the caveat is if somebody does attend, because if nobody does attend, then I won't have anything to be a workshop to actually hold. So hopefully some people will actually attend, and then they do, then I'll have that recording and I'll have it done by the end of the day. 0.4, notifications. So with this one, this is an overview of the notifications area. This is the one that I told you that I referenced. So they give it, I encourage you, Canvas instructor guide, just do a quick overview on your own. How do notification preferences work, and then how do I set my own notifications? Yes. For the labs? What I will do, so right now I'm actually using Zoom right now. I didn't give out the link, but for any future labs that I have, I'll be giving out the actual link when I make the announcement for these workshops so that you can actually attend and you would be able to attend during. So I'll make those available.
So we'll have a choice either being physically or
yeah.
Watching Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Zoom would be recorded though also, so we could either watch it live or watch it later.
But I want to make, as I mentioned, I'm sorry, your name now?
Yeah.
Jen, so I want to make sure, at least I need to have some bodies here so we can actually have a workshop to actually do. Totally understand. So all I need is at least, I'd like to have at least 3 people in the room for an effective workshop, but if I don't have anybody turn up, then I don't have a video to record. I'll still have as long as I have 1 person, I'm still going to have a workshop, whether online or not. It's Zoom, but still, I mean, for me, he's saying, if Michael's saying from 10:30 to 11:30, he's busy. He's teaching a class. He has another meeting. He has to do stuff with the union. He can't do 10 to 11:30. Thank you, Randy. You're the best. Right. All right, 0.4, mark is done, top right-hand corner. But we're getting through. This is what now I'm showing you how to navigate through the module. Yeah. All right, so here for your first assignment, you're going to do a discussion introduction. So don't do this now, do this later. But you're going to introduce yourself to the class. You have an optional discussion game. Please provide 3 statements, tell us more about yourself, but include one. It's like 2 truths, 1 lie. And then the game is, we have to figure out what your lie is. I have to reply to 2 of your classmates' posts I'll correct that spelling error by Sunday night, and then try to guess which one of the statements are false. And then you can discuss your expectations of the actual course. Yeah, please do also discuss your expectations on how you expect the course. This is going to be worth 4 points. Now, I want to make note of something here. With this assignment as an instructor, I've specified, and I'll get more into discussions and how they actually work in Unit 3, but I've specified as a student, before you can move on, you have to contribute to this page. That's one of the requirements. So right now, as my fake student, I'm not going to contribute to this page. I'm going to click Next. And you sit here and see this item is locked right now. This page is part of the module, the Getting Started, and hasn't been unlocked yet. So for you folks, you won't be able to continue on right now. So you're going to have to watch what I see on my screen to get started. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to leave student view.
You can do that for all kinds of assignments, I imagine?
Yeah, that's how this whole course is structured. So as an instructor, for me to show you the rest of this module, I have to be in instructor view. So right now, don't pay attention to your computer because you're not going to be able to go through. All right, so 0.6, this is your first online class. All this is basically, this would be for student information, and for what I would encourage you as instructors. I encourage you that anything you see in my course, not only are you taking this as a student to learn about how to use Canvas, but keep your instructor hat on and realize and model the setup of my actual, like a lot of the course that I want you to actually set up and model. So if you see something like this and you feel like, wow, this banner is really good, I want to steal it, you can steal whatever you want. I encourage you to steal anything and everything from this course that you feel relevant, that might be relevant to help you, especially with this getting started orientation. This is a perfect model for your actual course. Okay. Sounds good. All right, this one's important here. We have a 0.7, we have a create a course outline here. This is one that's going to be important here. Why are my things not displaying properly? I'll have to change that. All right, so the assignment here, overview. When we break these down, you're going to read the overview, and then I have instructions, and I usually give examples. And my videos aren't showing either. Oh, they didn't have one. All right, so the idea here is to create an outline of a course that you'll be working on through this course. This element will include the title of each module, assignments, quizzes, reading material, and course discussion. So the idea here is create 2 weeks or 2 modules of a course that you're going to be teaching in sequential order. So starting first day of fall semester, the idea is module 1 might be what week, that week, this is what we're going to cover. And week 2, this is what we're going to cover. And let me download the actual link right now and show you the actual outline of what I actually have here. So what I have here is the outline of what we're going to be doing. So this is the first week. And so these 2 items are going to be due in the first week. And we're going over this one now. Everything's in sequential order. And you notice too, I do these numbering conventions as well, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. I encourage you to make that part of your outline as well. 2 reasons why. Number 1, it helps with student support. Students can sit there and say, Aaron, I'm having a problem with 0.5. I automatically use the instructor. I'm going to go, okay, that's unit 0. My module 0. That's item number 5. That's my discussion, and I can automatically find that. Support for me or anybody else, it needs to go up now. You say, the problem I have with instructors, Aaron, the typical one is, Aaron, you contact me and say, I have a problem with my essay exam test. And then I go into your actual course and I see 6 essay exam tests, all titled in the same thing. I have no idea which one you're actually referring to. Versus you saying, Chris, can you take a look at 0.7 or 1.7? Oh, that's unit 1, item number 7. Boom, I know exactly which one you have. Another reason why I sit here and say this is I'm going to go into pages. Pages are what I create, the reading material that I actually create in this course. And it doesn't do it in any particular order. So as I go through here, as you sit here and see, these are numbered sequentially. So I know instructional content, this is module 3, item number 3. And I don't know if you know, this is about course communication. I have no problems finding that. But if I were to scroll down later on down the road, you'll still sit here and see, now I have all of these. Did that not update? Oh, that just brought it back down. Okay, I have all of these items here. I have no idea where they are in my actual modules and stuff like that. So me trying this, and imagine this for your assignments, your quizzes, and everything else, and I've already had instructors who brought Blackboard stuff over, and they have this kind of structure here, and they have no idea what they're actually looking at. But if you have your numbering convention, it's going to save you 6 months down the road. It's going to make it so much easier. So for your actual outline, include that there. Now you notice here too, with my actual outlines, I do actual context here. I say read, grading and instruction, or grading assignments. As you're getting into Canvas, this is going to help you understand certain things as far as you're understanding what content items to create. And plus, it's a great visual indicator for students. The reason why I say that is, let me go back to the modules section here. As you note, we have several icons here. If I have a page icon, it's just, if they hover over it, it's a wiki page. That means a content page. That's an item I just want you to read. If I have a discussion, that's that chat box here. That's a discussion that I want you to actually participate in. And then you have the page with the actual pencil. That's an actual assignment. It's not really it's not really abundantly clear what these items are unless students have enough the intuitiveness to be able to hover over these. So that's why I create in parentheses that actual context to make that visual association of what those items are. So I encourage you to do that as well. And I say graded assignment because sometimes you might not have those things. So, and as you notice, the Getting Started orientation, and now as I go into the Introduction to Teaching with Canvas module, or the Introduction to Canvas, those things are going to be there as well. So that'll be your first assignment, is to create a course outline in order of what you're actually going to do. And this would be the model of the 2 modules that you're going to be creating for your course. Does that make any sense? I want to make sure, because we've had for the C people in the summer course that were kind of confused about how to do this. So if there's any issues, please I want to clear that. So we're good on this?
The course outline for 2 weeks or for 4?
Not for the whole course. I just want 2 modules. 2 modules. So mine is a 5-unit actual course. I call them weekly units, so to speak. And these are the first 2. And these are the ones that you'll actually focus on building. That'll be, you submit that, you could just do that in just keep it simple. Keep it simple, like you download this reference and just keep it simple like this. Submit it to me on via Microsoft. It could be a Word document or a PDF. You can submit that to me. That'll be due this Friday by 11:59 p.m.
It's not open for us yet.
It's not open for that,
We haven't done
so
discussion for it yet.
you haven't done the discussion, so you can't get there. So on the 0.7, when you get to that discussion, when you click on the actual outline right here, you'll be able to download the example. Now, as you note, now I'm talking to you as an instructor, so you understand that these are the instructions right here. These are the details. This is this is worth 4 points. I want you to submit a file. The file is a so Word document or PDF. The due dates are here, so due date September 15th for everyone, available from today until, that needs to change too, but that's supposed to be the 13th, but that's the deadline's this weekend. The outline, and then I actually include the rubric here. So 2 weeks, so these are the grading ones. These are the ones when you want to be clear on how you're going to be graded. 2 weeks modules outlined for a course. Modules are titled and numbered properly, and context is specified for each item. So modules are titled and numbered properly, meaning, let me open that again. So title, the name of the actual module, and then these titles right here. The numbers, 0.1, and then I have the context right here, whether it's a read, a discussion, or an assignment.
So is there a reason why you're doing it Friday night instead of like Sunday night? Since most of us work 40+ hours a week.
I'll explain how the schedule works in a second.
Because honestly, I may get to, may not. And you know.
And I'll make exceptions, but I'll explain how the schedule works. Yeah. Yeah. So with the grading criteria, so 2 weeks, 2 modules outlined in the course, max 1 required element is missing. So when I talk about required elements, that might be the title, the numbers, you didn't include the numbers, or you didn't include the context, or no outline submitted, or course outline is confusing, or more than 1 grading requirement is, and that's 0. So just keep in mind of the grading elements there. Now, don't forget, these are just items here. Now, I'm going to be in context here, and with Michael, we're going to try to work something out here as far as context. As far as actual policy and what I actually adhere to as far as points will not be assessed for a required course that's submitted past the related due date. Make sure you complete all required coursework by assigned due dates to receive maximum points possible for each unit. There, I'm going to make an exception. This is just what I'm establishing now. If you miss a deadline date for a required coursework for a specific unit, the required coursework will still need to be submitted before you can move on to the next module. Also, make sure you read the attached rubric that is attached to all assignments and discussions so that you have a clear understanding of the requirements needed for the completion of each assignment. I did not mention with the discussions too. I'm going to go back to the actual discussion. You can't view, as you see, I talk about the grading rubric here. Click on the gear icon located in the top right-hand corner. If you click right here, you'll see the gear icon. You'll see the rubric here. So I'm making these note. I'm going to show rubric here. And this is the grading stuff that I have here.
So I'm not personally asking for an exception. I will tell you personally, I'll probably be getting almost everything in late.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care about the points. I want to learn how to do the program.
Okay.
And so what does that mean for me being able to take this course?
I'm going to get
I
through.
suspect I'm not the only one.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's talk about, because right now, and actually, I'm actually kind of, I'm talking to you as the role of a student as far as what you would actually do for the students, and then when I get to the end of the my actual thing, I'll talk to you as an instructor and how I'll work with it. So let's talk grades. I won't bore you going over that. You can read that. So to pass this course, 80%. So you pass this course with an 80% or above, you get a certificate of completion, and you get 20 hours of professional development credit. It's weighted accordingly. So for assignments, or actually it's under syllabus. Hands-on assignments are worth 20%. Discussions are worth 20, quizzes are worth 10, final projects worth 50% of the grade. Right now I want to talk about how we can work through these actual modules, because that's one of the things that have been most challenging for instructors in this course. So with Unit 1, every module starts off with an overview page. And keep in mind with your outlines and stuff, I'd like for you to have something like this for your actual outline that you create for yourself. Doesn't have to be this fancy with the actual graphics and stuff. All that I want to sit there and say is for an actual learning unit, just give me the premise of what the module is about. What is it going to cover? Are there any learning objectives? So by the time a student completes something, what will they be able to know? And then they have to meet the objectives. These are the things that you need to do. The next item in the actual module is a Canvas lab. It gives you the idea of what the next lab is going to be. So this Friday, 9:15, time from 10 a.m. to 11:30 in room 533. This is going to be this one. Now this is the one that I want to sit there. This is the problem because there's no book. There's no required book or textbook. The instructional content is kind of like the quote-unquote required reading for this actual course. And as you go through, for this one, you'll have like Canvas from the student view, Canvas from the instructor view, and then Rich Content Editor. You'll notice as you're going through these, you'll see these links here. Now, the comments where you sit there and have people say they're overwhelming, they have so much stuff to read and everything else. Well, what they do is they actually click on this link here and they say Canvas from the student view, and I don't know if this is the right link. They'll click on this and they'll sit there and see this, and then they feel like they have to read everything that's on this actual page, which is insane. It's not something I want you to do. When you actually look, I want you to actually take a look at actually every tab, which only takes a few minutes to actually read. And then look at these links. And if you find a link that actually makes something of a reference to you, so for Canvas from the instructor view, and then let's say on the instructor guide, you find this link and you find it helpful for you, bookmark that link for your own personal reference, but don't feel like you have to go through every single link and understand what's on this page because you'll never get anything done. This is just this is just for your point of reference. Now, the only thing that I would actually encourage that as we get into deeper assignments, let's say, for example, there's going to be assignment on how to create an actual module. And I have links for that. And if you find something in here that lends you to or will help you in the completion of completing something, then go ahead and read it. But just do this, review this as reference only, and then focus on those things that are going to help you with the end goal for your. Does that make sense? Okay, good. It's hot in here too, yeah. I don't know what I'm so over this heat, it's not even fun. This is the one with the edit profile. So just to clarify on this one, Michael, when you talked about those web services, when you go through this assignment, there's going to be a contact page, and this is for everyone here. And a lot of people complain because in that context section, you can't add michaelgolden@gccd.edu. You can add an email address or your phone number because, again, FERPA, they're protective of FERPA regulations. That's why they do those web services. So in this hands-on profile assignment, when you actually do the actual, when you read through the actual instructions, when you fill it out, if you want to include something in your profile, in the bio section is where you can type Michael Golden, I've been to college experience, everything else. You can write your communication or whatever preference you have there. Now, at the end of these assignments, there is a video I post, and this is a video that I recorded. It shows you proper submission on how to submit these assignments, and I give you tips on these. If I'm going to require, I would say if I require anything from you folks to watch, it would be this video right here. It would be these videos right here. When you watch these videos, on the first run, have a pen and paper ready and just watch the video. Don't go into your actual Canvas course and start doing everything that I actually tell you that's instructed in here. The ones that have the video up on the first run and then try to follow along with everything that I'm saying, submit their assignments and there's mistakes and there's problems that they have to resubmit. The ones that watch this on first viewing, and actually at the above link here, I have it embedded here, but right here I I say this video below will show you how to submit the URL. That's this video. I also have a direct link here that points to the video that has the whole entire script that you can actually read to. So if you have trouble following along, you can read the actual instruction to go through and watch through it there. Yeah.
So does Canvas allow you to speak into something and it'll type in for you, or?
No, this service is this is an application, a web application called screencast-omatic.com. It allows me to write scripts because this is fully captioned. I'll actually play it right now. In today's screencast, I would like to cover how to obtain the correct. And you adhere to captioning rules and everything else. And this is good for me because when I do these videos, I've learned that I can't talk freely. I actually have to write a script because the amount of takes that it took me to actually do this 2-minute video was like insane. I have to do it this way, otherwise I'm not going to do it. So I'm just saying that but I just want to make it clear, the ones that failed and had the most problems, they'll watch the video, but they'll watch it first, they'll do it, and then they'll submit it, and it's done, and then they got problems. Watch it first, take notes, read my script, and then once you have a clear idea, okay, you can watch it again, and on the second run, or on the third run, then you can follow along step by step on what you have to do.
So that's literally your script just broken down into time elements.
Right.
That's great.
This is only this application's like $15 a year. I pay for it out of my own pocket. I'd highly recommend you actually take advantage of it. And so the way this actually works is you write the actual script and it's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and then I record the audio. And then when I'm actually doing what you see on screen, I have headphones on and I'm hearing my own voice and I'm recording just steps, and then it's just I'm following the mouse movements on screen.
That was a transcribing tool.
It's not a transcribing. This one I actually wrote. I wrote all of them. Then I recorded. I could not do it. I understand the logic. What's in? Yeah, that would not work. I have to write it out because if I spoke it out, it would not make any sense and I'd jumble. I tried doing that. One video, it took me 7 hours to do, and I was like, no, I got to find a better way to do this. And this is one. So, anyways, that's the video. These will help. And if there's anything that I see here, and as far as recommended reading, I'd much rather in these assignments, they will have resources on how to edit your profiles and stuff like that. Please read these, and I reference what you need to read in the actual video. These are the ones that I actually have you read. And then there's the actual rubric right there.
So again, number 7, we can actually look at the outline. Pretty much just use that as our checklist.
Yeah. So 1.5, you have an add announcement assignment. So this 1.5, this one you're going to add an announcement, and this is the one that you would actually do in your GC Canvas training sandbox. So in your Canvas training sandbox, you're going to go in there and you're actually going to do this. Watch the video and then read the resources and then complete that. Now the actual thing that I have here as far as being grading in here and everything else, you could do the actual assignment. Randy could go in and do an assignment, say test assignment, test announcement, blah, 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 and send it and submit it. And technically you would complete the assignment. But when I want to sit here and emphasize that for your final project, we're building an actual course. So the content that we actually have here, I want it to be as real as we possibly can have it real. So when you actually do this assignment, you're not just learning how to do the technical, you're not learning to just push the right buttons to create the announcement. I want you to actually create a real announcement. So for this one, I'm going to grade. If it's not, you might be able to do it, but just note that if I read the announcement, it's not something that I would expect to be as a student to read in your course. I'm going to grade accordingly on that one as far as the rubric is concerned. Quizzes, you have quizzes, and then the discussion, this is going to be first impressions. And then the enrichment is at the end, this is what you've done, this is what you've completed, and any other additional resources. So that gives you an idea as far as the modules. So as I want to emphasize, as far as the time that you have on your schedule, the ones that suck the most out are the instructional content sections. Just read these tabs and what they have here. So these tabs are just very easy reading. And then browse through the actual links. If you find a link that's helpful for you in the completion of an actual assignment, you can bookmark that in your favorite bookmarking tool of choice. But don't feel like you have to watch every single thing or learn every single thing here. The key things that are going to be important to you in the completion of assignments are going to be in the hands-on section. So let's talk about like the module section. So this is in Unit 2. This will be for next week. The key things are going to be, they're going to be listed down here. These resources down here, these are the things that are going to help you complete these assignments here. So frankly, as an instructor, I mean, if I was to sit there and anything, you could just use this as for reference only, you know, the instructional content. Use this as for reference only, I mean, as far as all these stuff here. But for what I would really want you to read would be under the modules. Yeah, would be these things right here. It'll save you a lot more time watching the video and reading these. So hopefully that will help. If you have any questions on that, please let me know. All right, let's talk schedule and let's talk grades.
I got a question about, so I'm thinking maybe Fridays would be where I can put some of the time in. So next Friday, we'll be starting Module 2.
Module 2 will start Monday.
What would you be doing this time?
It's going to be talking about Unit 1. So let me talk about the actual scheduling. And this is what we actually had to change. I'm going to explain to you what I had it originally and what I actually changed here. So originally the way, and I'm looking at the schedule that I have now, originally the way they had the schedule done, the units started on an actual Monday. Things were due on Friday. Now, when it said start on Monday, due on Friday, what I actually did though was, okay, so this is week 1. Week 2, the unit officially begins today on the 18th. However, I made the unit available on Friday the 15th to give faculty members the weekend to work on the actual assignment. However, faculty members, over the summer, we got a large number of people, they didn't want to be locked into that. They wanted to work ahead. So the best way, and I wanted to change that for this option here. So now, technically, every single module right now is available. The only requirement that you have to have is I have to grade your assignment. So if I grade your hands-on work and I grade your discussion and you do the quiz, then you can move on and you can go through the entire course. Overall, I'm going to adhere to that late work thing. So a lot of the stuff that we have talked about today, the orientation, the only things you have to do in that is the outline and then your introduction discussion. And then on the very end, you have a edit profile and then an add announcement and then quiz. These things technically, while they're a lot, they're technically not a lot. Looks like a lot, but technically when you actually look at it, if you broke it down, it'd be easy. If we had 2 more hours, I could get you through all of this and get this done. Now, if you are concerned about your grade and you actually want the 20% professional or the 20 hours professional development and that actual certificate, and you need exceptions if you're in a position like Michael and everything else, communicate with me. I'm just saying, hypothetically, communicate with me. If you communicate with me and say, I have these obligations and everything else, I will make exceptions for you in working through these actual deadlines. However, if you don't communicate with me and that 80% is actually important to you, then I'm just going to adhere the way that I've actually taught it. What's due on Friday is what's due on Friday. If you're late, you're not going to get any points for the actual stuff. Does that work? Is that fair for everyone?
In other words, there's an automatic extension button.
If you talk to me.
Right. Okay. Via Canvas.
Yeah, you can. But for those, because I've had several, we've had those that'll enroll, and then I don't have any. They don't communicate, or I try to, and they don't communicate with me. So the more you communicate with me about your situation, because the more important thing is all I care about. I mean, I don't know how, for those, I don't know what the 20 hours of professional development, if that's important to you or not. I just want you to get this course done and be ready on the 2nd, and how we actually do it. I only adhere to the late work policy for those people that, like, they sign up and they don't do anything in the actual course. 2 weeks of by the way, 2 weeks, if you don't participate for 2 weeks in activity, you get dropped in the actual course. That's it. It's 11:27 right
I
now.
went too fast. I can see doing this, taking a break and doing it all day.
Yeah. I would sit there and say, on your own. Again, so I'm going to have this video by the end of the day. I'll have this video up in the actual course. When I actually go in the course and everything else, I'll post an announcement up. So make sure, and that's why we had in the announcement. So number one, make sure, I want to know that in the notifications area, that announcement was set to notify me right away, which is that check mark. So you get my announcements. Then for the CTF1, I'm actually going to post all of the orientation or the videos that we have. They will be posted in the Zoom sessions right here. So if there's anything that you actually want to review from what we talked about today, because yes, I did cover a lot of stuff, it'll be posted right there. There's nothing here right now, but you'll see it here, and I'll have the announcement for that as well. But for you, if you get started, just go on the home screen, and then you can go back, go on the Getting Started orientation here, click on that link, and then the Getting Started, and just work through this actual stuff right here. And this video will be, this is a more condensed version of the 90 minutes that we talked today, and you can get started there. Other than that, don't hesitate to ask me any questions that you have about Canvas, or the actual course, and I'll do both Janet and I will do my best to be here for all of you as best as we can. So it is 11:28 right now. You're more than welcome to go and take care of the rest of your day. Otherwise, I'll answer any other questions you may have, but I am going to stop the recording here.
Great workshop, Chris.
Thank you.
So I can remember, this coming Friday will be